dividing a polynomial expression by a number and a variable. So the first thing I'm going to do to figure out what to do with this thing is to separate it out. So I'm going to write it like this. So I'm going to say 36x to the fourth divided by 6x to the third plus 48x to the third divided by 6x to the third plus 30x squared divided by 6x to the third. The first thing I'm going to do is talk about my numbers. I'm going to divide out my numbers first, and then we'll talk about the variables. So my numbers, 36 divided by 6 is 6. 48 divided by 6 is 8. And 30 divided by 6 is 5. Now let's deal with the variables. Now remember, when I'm dividing variables or dividing exponents that have the same bases, then I subtract those exponents. I'm going to subtract the numerator minus the denominator. So I'm going to subtract 4 minus 3, so that leaves me x to the first. 3 minus 3 is x to the 0, and 2 minus 3 is going to be x to the negative 1. Let's keep those operators in there in between. So now I have 6x to the first plus 8x to the 0 plus 5x to the negative 1. 6x to the first, anything to the first is just that thing, so I have 6x. Anything raised to the 0 power is 1, so this is going to be 8 times 1, and 8 times 1 is just 8. And 5 times x to the negative first. Now this isn't this whole quantity raised to the negative first power, it's just the x being raised to the negative first power. So when I have a negative exponent, it means I take the reciprocal of that thing and put a positive exponent on it. So remember that x to the first is just x. So my answer is 6x plus 8 plus 5 over x.